YouTube. Welcome to another edition of OGMarv Whispers. I'm your host, OGMarv. Tonight I want to talk about actually a couple things. I want to talk about family life, but I also want to talk about that crazy ass Donald Trump. I probably should have just did a video just only on his dumb ass. I don't know if you watched the debate last night between him and Joe Biden. It was shameful. Donald Trump to be the president of the United States is a total fool. He's just as big a fool as that idiot I had them two kids with. They're both fools. Only he has money and she don't. That's the only difference. And she's black and he's white. Other than that, they're two peas in pot. They're both just as dumb as yokels. He might be a little bit smarter because at least he's got some money. But my ex don't have shit. Don't come to the table with nothing but some pussy. And I imagine by now, even that ain't all that great. If she ain't, she ain't no spring chicken no more. She's 35 years old. And, things start going kind of the other way after 35. So anyway, it really disturbs me, sometimes that I even hooked up with this crazy ass bitch. But, you don't have any way sometimes of knowing that a person is going to be an idiot or an albatross around your neck. That's what she is to me, an albatross. She does everything ass backwards and with no regard for anybody but herself. I do believe that she loves the kids to a certain degree, but she's also using them. And if you love somebody or something, you don't use it. You don't abuse it. You do everything over, on above board and be transparent, which she is definitely not. None of that. Bitch is just using them kids to earn income from me. Because she's too sorry to get her black ass out there and go get a goddamn job. She just wants to sit home, do her hair all motherfucking day to go nowhere. I just don't even understand the logic in that. What's the point of, spending, good money that she doesn't really have on some fucking fake ass hair to go nowhere and do nothing? She's buying that hair to look good so she can get dick from niggas who ain't about shit. It's all about niggas and dick. Dick and niggas with her. She doesn't understand that what she's doing has no value. Ghetto ass niggas are not valuable. They have no value. Any woman worth her salt wouldn't even fuck with them. She fucks with them because that's all that will fuck with her. Like her best friend. I'm not gonna mention the lady's name, but this lady came over our house one day when they first met. She talked for about 5 minutes. I listened to her talking, and I knew 5 minutes into the conversation she was having with my ex that this bitch wasn't shit. Now, at the time, I didn't realize that my ex wasn't shit either. I mean, I did to a certain degree, but I didn't know the depth of how much wasn't shit she was. And so, I was figuring, I was thinking after the 5 minutes I listened to this bitch talk that Nika was going to hear the same thing I heard and think, no, I don't need to be fucking with this bitch because this bitch can't do nothing for me. And I'm not saying that everybody that you be friends with has to have some kind of value in terms of being able to do something for you. You can be friends with people and you're not doing nothing for them, they're not doing nothing for you. You just have, things in common. So that's nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. But the point is, in the position that Nika was in at the time, see, I've never been in that position because I've always been a person who strives to be a better person than on whatever level I was on at whatever time I'm thinking about. And over the years, like the man I'm 67 years old now. The man that I am now, I'm very proud of. I'm sure if my parents were alive, they would be proud of me too. The woman that she is nothing for nobody to be proud of. Because see, even when I look at, and I'm not really trying to talk about her mom, but her mom passed away, can't defend herself, so I don't want to go too far with that. But the point of the matter is, her mother did not raise her. You can tell that she didn't spend no time with her because she doesn't know the things that a mother should know and doesn't do the things that a mother should do and should have been taught to do as a mother. I've learned that over the years, because I've been with quite a few women in my day, and I looked at the moms that raised them. My second wife, Debbie, comes to mind. Debbie, her name was Debutante. Debutante was absolutely raised by her mother. Maxine was her mother. Maxine exposed Debbie to a lot of cultural things and made sure that Debbie went to places like museums, um, uh, aquariums, things of culture. Nika's mother didn't do that for her. She didn't teach her anything of culture. And part of the problem, I guess, they want to blame it on the fact that she worked. But Debbie's mother worked and had a better job than Shanika's mother did. Yet she raised Debbie hands over fist better than Shanika was raised. And Debbie was a really good, strong black woman on the rise when I met her. She was 19 years old. And I could tell, I was 21 at the time, and I could tell that this woman was a lady of substance and was going to go somewhere. Debbie's mother raised Debbie. Shanika's mother did not raise Shanika. And then Shanika was a little bit rebellious from what I understand. And that didn't help matters any. So I'm sure her mother had her hands full in dealing with Shanika. Our daughter Shamari is being taught to be disrespectful. Okay, case in point. I pay for the internet over at Sneaker's house. This month I forgot to pay the bill. So that's the only time that Shamari calls me. She never calls me to say, "Dad, how you doing?" I'm just calling to see how you doing and check on you. You know why? Because Shanika doesn't give a fuck about me. And that's what she's taught Shamari. And Shamari doesn't give a fuck about me either. Make no mistake. I don't believe for 1 minute that Shamari even loves me. I'm just her father. But there's no bond between Shamari and I. That's sad, but it's true. And the reason that there's no bond between us is not because of me. It's because of her. And it's really because of Shanika, because Shanika doesn't have the sense enough or the presence of mind to not involve Shamari in the conflicts that Shanika and I have. Shanika doesn't have a whole lot of class. Hell, she ain't got no class. What the fuck am I mean? Doesn't have a whole lot. She ain't got none. She has no class. So she doesn't have boundaries, doesn't have borders. he doesn't have any moral boundaries either. Shanika will do anything to attain whatever it is she's trying to attain, and whatever whatever end result she needs. She don't give a fuck about nobody else. It's all about her. And and then she also has, unfortunately, the standards that ghetto niggas have is a lot different than what standards ought to be, which is why we have ghettos in the first place. Because ghetto niggas don't have any moral compass. They don't have any boundaries. There's nothing that they just won't do. Like for me, for instance, I'm never going to go out here and say kill somebody or hurt somebody intentionally physically or steal something from someone. I won't do that because that's not in my moral compass. My parents raised me. My mother raised me. My father raised me. They instilled certain things in me that are still with me today, even at 67, and they're dead. But I'm still living the way I was taught to live by them. And I tried to teach that to my kids too. But unfortunately with Shamari, Nika's been telling, basically teaching her that daddy's hurting me. Because I fight Shanika all the time about her spending the kids' money. Now, when Shamari gets a little older and understands what the money thing is all about, she's going to then understand why I was saying what I'm saying, and because there's going to come a time when her and Shanika, and I guarantee you this, there's going to come a time when Shamari is going to be demanding her money from Shanika. And it is her money, and she will have a right to ask for it. Because the money is not for Shanika, for Shamari. Shanika seems to think that I'm paying her because she had kids. Ain't nobody paying her because she had kids. It's not even for her. And she was a decent mother. She wouldn't spend all the kids' money. But she doesn't give a damn about them kids, only as far as it pertains to their money. She cares. Like right now, my son is over there, and he shouldn't be, because Shanika can't teach him a goddamn thing. She can't teach him how to go out there and get a job. She can't teach him how to be educated. She can't teach him how to be a man. She can't teach him how to be a respectable man, because she's not even a respectable woman. But unfortunately, in our country, you don't have to be respectable to be a parent. You can be disrespectful and be a fucked up, uneducated person, but you still have a right to your kids. And I think that that's right to a certain degree. But if there is a parent that is obviously, hands over fist, more suitable for the job of being a parent, that parent should be the one that has the kids primarily. I'm working on that, and that's because, and part of that maybe do this video tonight, because I'm starting to rethink that a little bit, because I know kids, and this is going to cost me approximately $1,500 cash money, and I'm starting to wonder, is it worth it? Should I spend the money to do this? Obviously, I'm the better parent. Obviously, I'm the smarter parent. Obviously, I'm the educated parent. Obviously, I'm the parent that has morals. I'm the parent that has boundaries. I'm the parent that can actually teach those kids something. Shamari is kind of almost too late. And I know a lot of you say, because Shamari's 12 years old. When kids get 12, 13 years old, especially girls are more difficult to raise than boys, way more difficult. Because, and especially if they ever start, the moment they start having sex, you can forget it. Once they start fucking, they ain't listening to you no more. Boys are a whole lot more easier to raise because there's something about a male brain that is more easy to relate to. They comprehend better. We comprehend better. Females, think with emotion, whereas males think with logic. And so, even the young males think with a certain amount of logic as far as they can understand. Females don't. So since Jamari thinks the daddy's hurting her mama, I'm the bad guy to her. I'm not the bad guy. And when she gets older and understands, what life is all about, she'll see that. I'll probably be dead by the time she figures it out. And then she'll be thinking, gee, I wish I had listened to my father a little bit more and spend a little more time with him and appreciate it more. Probably you can get a little bit upset with her mother once she finds out what life really is all about and what her mother's really all about. Because make no mistake, she ain't about shit, okay? Straight up. She's not a mother. Or she's not a mom. She's a mother because she had children. She's not a mother because she deserved them or because, she was a person who could, teach a child something. How can you teach? You can't teach a child something you don't know. You can't tell a child how to do something that you yourself don't know. Which leads me to the job thing with my son. How's she going to tell him, explain to him how to go out there and fill out an application and present himself as a respectable person when she herself doesn't have that quality or the ability to do that? That's why she's sitting on her ass, holding on to the money that I provide for the children, inadvertently making me support her, even though I ain't been with her in 3 years. I ain't fucking her no more. Why am I supporting her? Why does she think that she's even entitled or has the right to spend the money? You don't like me. Why would you want my money? I'll tell you why. Because she's a sorry ass mother who doesn't want to get up off her ass and she's disrespectful. So since she doesn't respect me anyway, she doesn't see anything wrong with what she's doing. But that's wrong on a whole lot of levels. But because she doesn't have and wasn't taught any boundaries, she doesn't see the issue or doesn't want to see the issue. Because maybe she does see the issue. Maybe she knows it's wrong. But I kind of I think it's a mixture of both. She doesn't know because she wasn't taught. I understand her mother worked and she had 5 kids or something, something like that. But there was something wrong with their genes, at least some of them. I'm not saying all of them. You guys, I guess 3 of them are pretty much normal, but 2 of them are not, clearly. So actually, at this point, that other one that wasn't normal has kind of come to the center and is doing a lot better than they were. But she's not. She's still doing the same shit that she's doing all the time, and she doesn't care about nothing. She don't give a fuck that I'm upset about the fact that she's making me support her. As a man, I wouldn't accept a fucking dime from her. If she was to call me up tomorrow or tonight and say, Marvin, come over and I'll give you some pussy, I wouldn't accept that either. Because, well, not only because it's not right, but it's because I wouldn't want to have sex with her under any circumstances. Because that would be to say that I'm okay with who she is and what she's doing, and I'm not. I wouldn't fuck her with your dick. People like her is one of the reasons why our country is in such an uproar. And although I think over the last few months I think our country has kind of starting to gel a little bit because Donald Trump is such a fucked up ass president, and I think that people are finally beginning to see how screwed up he is, and they don't like it, and so people are getting a little closer as a result of that. He's actually making the country be more more in tune with each other, because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that Donald Trump is a nut, and he showed it last night, big time. I was embarrassed for him. I've seen presidential debates before. I've never seen one like the one I saw last night, and probably never will see another one. They're planning to have another debate, and I don't think he's going to be able to do and say the things that he did on this last one because they're planning on changing some of the format of it. But even though they're planning to do that, I think that he's going to still find a way to look like an idiot. Because that's what he is. He's an idiot. Same thing with Shanika. She's an idiot. See, she'll get mad at me because I'm talking about her. And instead of her trying to get into her own feelings and try to figure out how to straighten out herself, she'll get mad at me as if it's my fault that she's the way she is. It ain't my fault. I didn't raise you, nigga. Your mama raised you. If it's anybody's fault, it's hers and yours. Because I believe that Shanika knows she ain't right. I think she knows it. I think she just doesn't give a fuck because she doesn't like me. So she sees taking my money and spending it as a way to hurt me still. Because that's all she's ever done over the last 4 or 5 years is hurt me. Actually, longer than that. She's been hurting me for years. And somehow she derives some kind of pleasure out of it. And that's sick. That in and of itself is sick and demonic. You're supposed to raise your children to be better than you. Most respectable parents or parents of substance want their kids to do better than they did. Shanika's not paying no attention to any of that. Because if she were, she wouldn't allow her daughter to see her or hear her talk to me the way she does. Shamara disrespects me the same way Shanika does. Almost to a T. And so that leads me back to, she called me, I guess it was yesterday, because AT&T had cut the router off, so she couldn't get on the internet and do her homework, because everybody's got a homeschool now, and so the internet is very important to her. So I didn't have the cash, so I needed to ask Mary, to loan me the money so that I could, pay. Actually, just go ahead and pay the bill, and I'll give her the money back. And at first Mary didn't want to do it because Mary doesn't like the fact that Nunu disrespects me either. I've gotten used to it, and I probably shouldn't have, but I've gotten used to it, so I don't really pay it a whole lot of attention. Because if I did, I'd go over there and kick her ass. But in order to not go over there and kick her ass, I have to not pay attention and let it bounce off me like water off a duck's back. But Mary was insisting, no, I'm not going to pay the bill unless she apologizes to you for the way she talks to you. Which Mary's right. She said she should never talk to me the way she talks to me because she's my daughter. I'm her father. She's not Shanika. Shanika shouldn't talk to me that way either. I'm paying Shanika's old fucked up ass. I'm paying her that bitch's bills. Why does she talk to me like that? I have every right to call her a bitch because I'm paying for her, and I shouldn't be. So in my view, she's a bitch because she's making me do something I don't want to do. I'm giving this bitch money that I don't want to do. I don't want to give her money. What the fuck I do? What does she think? I'm Willie Poo Poo? I'm not Willie fucking Poo Poo. She's fucking me over all the time. All the goddamn time she fucks me over constantly on a daily motherfucking basis. And then has nerve to get mad with me because I say something. Get mad at yourself because you're the sorry ass motherfucker that has to ask me for shit or has to use me like that. You're a user, straight up. This bitch don't even want it. I gotta go out here and spend $1,500 in order to get the right to see my child on a consistent level. This bitch don't even have sense enough to understand and say, well, you know what? That motherfucker does give me money, so the least I can do is let him see his kid. No, she thinks it's okay. Because, like, I was talking to her, and then after we got through talking and texting, I sent her another text. I said, can I pick up the kids this weekend? I ain't heard a motherfucking thing from that bitch yet. She ain't said a motherfucking word. Because all they cared about was they wanted that router turned on. She's teaching our daughter how to use me, too. And unfortunately, Shamari at 12 doesn't have no. Because see, when I was 12 years old, I knew right from wrong. I wouldn't have done that to my father. And Nika shouldn't put Shamari in that situation. But because she doesn't give a fuck, and because she's no kind of really, she ain't no fucking mother. She is a piece of shit in my book. And she'll probably look at this and say, man, that motherfucker talking about. But yeah, I'm talking about you because look what you do. Anybody would talk about you, and I ain't the only one. There's some of her family members that have said to me that what she's doing ain't right. Of course, she don't give a fuck about them either. And some of them don't give a fuck about her either. I would never mention any names. But, everybody in her family not happy about being related to her. Because she's an embarrassment. I'm even kind of ashamed and embarrassed that I was messing with her. I should have known better. And this is the price I pay for messing with somebody of her ilk. The least, parents should do is be able to share the kids with the other parent. And, especially in a situation like this, because anybody shouldn't be around, it's her. She's the one that is a bad example of a parent. And one reason why I'm going to fight to get my son, because I don't want him to turn out like her. See, Shamari is already fucked up. There's nothing I can do with her. Sneaker's already totally fucked my daughter up. She has an attitude. She's disrespectful. And, she thinks it's all about her. She's actually a Shanika Jr. I can't do anything about that now. So once you instill that kind of shit in a child, there's nothing you can do with that. And a motherfucking thing you can do with that. Because she's already polarized against me. Any mother that would polarize a child against its own father, that's a piece of shit. That mother ain't worth a fuck. Even though I don't like Shanika, and I don't think nothing of her. I don't have no respect for her at all. But I don't polarize the kids against her when they're here. I don't throw her under the bus. Because I got a little more class than that. I got a little more sense than that. This is something you don't do. I'm so sick of this shit. I'll be so glad when them kids grow up and I ain't gotta fucking deal with that motherfucker. Whew. When my money stops going over there and I ain't gotta speak to that bitch. And she's the only one out of the 12 mothers that I will not speak to her once these kids get grown and I ain't got to. And the other mothers, I would never treat them like that. Because I respect all the moms, regardless of how we broke up or whatever. Because actually none of them did none of the shit that Shanika did. Ain't nothing there. One of them ain't never brought another man in our house and fuck him in my bed. That's the kind of bitch Shanika is. Anybody with a half a brain knows that's a low down dirty bitch that'll do some shit like that. And that's exactly what she is. She's a low down dirty bitch. No morals. Again, she wasn't raised. Nobody didn't sit down and talk to her. And unfortunately, Nika's father And and I like the guy. He's a really nice guy, but he does not have a backbone. He didn't stand up to his wife. I think that's part of the problem too, because he wasn't saying nothing because he couldn't. A man has to be the man in the house. And when you see a woman doing something that you know damn well ain't right, you got to put your foot down and tell her, hey, that's not cool. Sometimes you have to be the man and let the lady know that you're the man. Sometimes you have to have a backbone and stand up for your manhood. I'm standing up for my manhood right now. That's why I came up with this, with the idea of making this channel, because this is my way of, for one thing, saving my mental health, and for another thing, not taking my ass over there and blow her motherfucking brains out. And thank you, Flight Reacts. Thank you. I appreciate the respect, and that's what it's all about. It's about respect. People have to respect one another and respect the position that that person is in. You know, if nothing else, look, I worked all my life. I worked for 50 years of my life to be able to do what I'm doing now. I don't have to do work anymore. I get my Social Security. The money that goes to the children doesn't affect what I get. Social Security has it set up that way. So it's not like I want the money because I want the money. But see, if I was getting that money, I wouldn't even spend a dime of it. I might let them spend half of it. I put the other half in the bank for them, because that's what it's supposed to be for. It's for them. They're not gonna have a goddamn thing when they get 18 if the shit keeps going the way it's going. I'm doing what I can. It's hard to get through the Social Security right now, but I need them. I need that mindset to change the way they do things, because this is not. Thank you. I am. You're right. Um, this is not welfare. This is not public funds. The money that my kids get is money that I worked for. I worked all my life. I didn't sit up on my ass and do nothing. I worked and put money up, in the way of Social Security. Okay, that's all right. Thank you. I appreciate you coming to see me. I love you for that. Thank you. You know, Social Security needs to understand that they need to respect my money. So see, it's not their money. That's part of the problem. That their mindset is it's their money. No, no, it's not your money. It's my money. Thank you. I appreciate it. Um, I worked all my life and put that money there. I'm actually giving making it so those people have a job. They wouldn't have a job with people like me that work. If it was like people like Shanika that don't do nothing, they wouldn't have a job, okay? Unless they went down to the welfare office and became a social worker. Uh, I'm the one that's keeping them people in business. Shanika not the one keeping nobody in business except the hair weave people. So that's all they see. That's all they she's contributing to is Chinese people go and buy that hair weave, and all that shit's made in China. So she's supporting China. That's crazy. And there ought to be a law where people can't just do that kind of shit. But actually, what she's doing to me is wrong. It's wrong. It's two less shoes. I've gotten used to it, but it still ain't right. Bottom line, everybody needs to get up off their ass and go to work and get a job. And I'm 67 years old. I don't know if I'll live another 20 years, but I would love to be here 20 years from now and see what that motherfucking bitch be doing, because she has no job skills. She doesn't have nothing to sell to an employer. The only thing she's been doing for the last 10 years or so is laying on her back. So unless nobody ain't trying to buy no old pussy. She's already 35. Even when I was back in the day, I wasn't trying to fuck on no 35-year-old bitches. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. Even though I was in my, I wasn't trying to fuck on no 35-year-old. I still wanted them 20-something-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? That was a good pussy. You get past 35, that pussy starts getting funny. Like in her case, it's even funnier because her shit's so stretched the fuck out. All the big dick niggas didn't let the fuck run up in her. So the lips of her pussy don't even come together. Woman sits down and like has her legs like Indian style. That pussy, them lips supposed to meet. Her lips don't even meet. They just be sitting like this. She'd have been really, I swear to God. I mean, she's a trip. She's as bad as Donald Trump, okay? She's just a black Donald Trump with no money. Anyway, I'm gonna get off of this here because I'm having too much fun. If you were in here and listen to my show, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming. Like and subscribe. And tell your friends. Share the link. This is OGMarv. I had a good time with this tonight. I really did. I'm OGMarv Whispers. That's the name of my show. And everybody take it easy for the night. Take care of yourselves and each other. And just behave. How hard is that? Night.